Hi to all Gunners fans around the world. Hi to all football lovers around the world. This is a special edition of your favorite show, the Arsenal Alchemy. And today is, we have a lot of questions in today's edition. We're not analyzing no game. We're analyzing the season and the previous season. And the question we're asking is, our arch rivals, which is Manchester City, or need I say our arch nemesis, they have deprived us of the league title in at least 2 seasons. And now they've picked form again. Why we pick form? So the question I want to ask is, should we be wary of Manchester City? Or are we different as a team this season? Do you think Manchester City has the team of the previous squad they had that went on amazing runs and ultimately stole or snatched the title away from us? This is all we are going to discuss. And please, if you like this channel, please, I still ask that you press that like button, and also, most importantly, subscribe to the channel so we can bring you better content. And now, without wasting much time, we're going to go into the topic of the day, and we're going to start with the resurgence of the Arsenal Football Club. We're going to go way back to 2022-2023 season. Now, that season, before the season started, Arsenal was nowhere near challenging for the title. We were not mentioned among the people that were to challenge for the title. Those that were to challenge for the title was Man City, of course, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Manchester United. How the tables have turned now. So that 2022 was a breakthrough season for Arsenal. Well, you can say also it was a breakthrough season for Mikel Arteta, because that was the season he finally arrived, though he won the FA Cup in 2019-2020 season, but this season was the season, 2022-2023 was the season that all of Arteta's work, everything he had done over the years, started to come to fruition. So this season was the emergence of players like Bukayo Saka, the maturity of Gabriel Martinelli. Also, that was a season where William Saliba came to the fore. Remember, he had been on loans. He had been on about 2 loan spells. So that was the season he finally came back in, and boy, did he impress. Everybody was fantastic. We had Granit Xhaka in midfield. We had Odegaard. Odegaard came from Real Madrid the season before. We were a complete team back then. So that season started with a lot of promises. Like I said earlier, we emerged as the very unlikely title challengers. And all this while, even with all that, we fielded the youngest team in the division at that time. All these guys were really young. Odegaard was about 22 then. Bukayo Saka was about 20, 21 then. Martinelli, same age with Saka. The defense, Megalis was about what? Megalis was about 23, 24 then. He was relatively young. Saliba was about 21. we had a very, very young team. Ben White was what, 22 then? So we had a very young team, and we were the youngest team in the country. So that season started, and we started very well that season. We were blowing teams out, going into the game. We were playing some really heavy metal football back then. I remember we won Liverpool 3-2 at Anfield at Emirates. We were beating up teams. We went on very good runs. What really messed up that season was in the last 9 games. In the last 9 games, we're talking about 27 points. And that's the last 9 games we were able to accumulate just 12 points. And ultimately, Manchester City overtook us. Of course, they had Club World Cup then, so they had 1 or 2 outstanding games. They won all the outstanding games, and they won us. And they went ahead and won the league. But, we, the Arsenal fans then, weren't so worried. If anything, we're happy. Nobody gave us a chance. Nobody thought we could come second. The season before, we came 5th. Nobody gave us a chance. Nobody thought we could come second. So we were like, okay, we finally have a proper team. So we were looking forward to the next season. And the next season came, and we didn't start very well. So this is now the 2023-2024 season. We didn't start very well. I remember we had losses to West Ham. We drew to a 10-man Fulham, and we had a very shaky start. But at the second stage of the season, after we went for a trip to Dubai for the break, we came back fully re-energized, fully reset, and fully motivated. We came back and were winning left, right, and center. We didn't care who it was. We were winning, and winning. In 16 games of 2023-2024, the last 16 games, we won 14. 14 games. We lost once to Manchester City. No, we lost once, to Aston Villa, and drew to Manchester City. That loss to Aston Villa ultimately cost us the title. If we had won that game, or at least gotten a draw from that game, we would have been crowned champions. So in all of this disappointment, for me, the 2023-2024 season was my most nightmarish season. That was the season that still gives me nightmares till today. Apart from the 2006 Champions League final against Barcelona that we lost, that still gives me nightmares. But this particular season, 2003-2004, is a close second. I was so sure we were going to win the league. I was so sure that was our year. Even when we lost to Aston Villa, I was still very optimistic. Because Manchester City had to play Tottenham that year. And Tottenham is usually Manchester City's Achilles heel. And guess what? Tottenham disappointed as usual. They disappointed that year, and Manchester City won them in their own home, and which ultimately cemented the league for them. That confirmed the league for them. So that season, of course, that season we brought in we had Kai Havertz, we had Kai Havertz, we had Gabriel Jesus, but he was always injured. His injury problem started that period. We had a very, very fantastic squad. So when we lost that year, we were like, okay. As Evra will say, Patrice Evra, we became the Netflix club of the Premier League. People are always waiting for next year. We were always waiting for the next season. And this period wasn't different. That disappointment went right through my chest. Because we accumulated 89 points, which is our second best point tally ever in the EPL, in the English Premier League. That was our best. I think our best was 91 or so. 91 points by the Invincibles. And this was the second. But we accumulated more wins than the Invincibles. We had 29 wins that season. 29 wins. The Invincible had 27 wins. Or 25 or 26, I can't remember. The rest were draws. So that was the difference. That was a fantastic... If there was no club called Manchester City, we would have won the league back-to-back in 2 of those seasons. Mikel Arteta would have been a legend. Mikel Arteta will be respected. All these rival fans, especially Chelsea fans, won't have the guts or the effrontery to challenge us and tell us they're better than us. And they won't tell us we're the bottling club. They will not troll us incessantly on the internet. We will not be the butt of jokes for other clubs. But Man City have a knack for picking up form when we are at our best. The only difference between we and Manchester City, to me, is Pep Guardiola. Manchester City has a fantastic coach. To me, he is the best coach in my era. And trust me, I have seen so many fantastic coaches over the years. I've seen Trapattoni, I've seen Capello, I've seen Alex Ferguson, I've seen Arsene Wenger, I've seen Otmar Hitzfeld. I have seen great coaches over the years. I have seen Mourinho, I have seen Conte. But this man, Pep Guardiola, to me, is better than all these people I mentioned. He is better than all these people I mentioned because this guy, his longevity is to be admired. So we're going to move on to the next season. So after the 2023-24 season was over, we turned to our Netflix character again of waiting for the next season. And we were like, okay, the 2024-2025 season is definitely going to be our season. After Manchester City won 4 in a row, we felt the players will not be motivated anymore. And we were right. But we had one problem. Our problem that season wasn't Manchester City. Our problem that season became none other than Liverpool. So, it was a season where everybody was like, Liverpool just lost one of their greatest managers ever in Jurgen Klopp. And we were like, okay, a new manager's coming, some name we've never heard before, Arne Slot, Okay, come. What would Arne Slot do? This is Arsenal. This is the EPL. A new manager cannot just come and take over. So we pushed Manchester City aside for the title. Liverpool seemed very unlikely. Chelsea was having their identity crisis. Manchester United was unrecognizable. They were not the club we knew. Tottenham, well, they were Tottenham. So every bookmaker tipped Arsenal to win the league. 2024-2025 started. We had a very good start against Wolverhampton. We won 2-0. Then the season became like the previous seasons. Our start was shaky. Our start wasn't very good. It wasn't a great start. But on the other hand, Manchester City, our Nemesis, were stuttering too. They weren't doing well. They were, blowing hot and cold. But Liverpool, with Mohamed Salah, had other ideas. They were on an incredible run, on an amazing run. When I saw the way they were playing and saw the way we were playing, after about 12 games, I told whoever cared to listen, Liverpool is winning this league. Look how easily they dispatch. Look how easily they dispatch of anybody. They were beating teams convincingly. If the teams managed to get a draw, even at 90th minute, Liverpool goes for that winner and they get it. Character, intensity, press play, very good identity for a football club. They had one of the best players I had ever seen in Mo Salah. They had Luis Diaz. They had the late Jota. They had Darwin Núñez. This team was complete. They had this player called Soboslai. I think he was just bought that period. He was incredible. They deployed Gravenberch to the holding midfield role, and he was fantastic there. He excelled in it. They reminded me of the team of the season. The season. They reminded us of Arsenal the season before. They went on a winning streak. They didn't care who they played. They win you. Nobody came close. They won Manchester City home and away. We drew with them home and away, but they were blowing teams out of the park. Then the worst thing happened that season. We became very unlucky with injury. We remember Gabriel Jesus did his ACL. He went off in January for the season. He went off in December. He was out for the season. We had Bukayo Saka in that same December. He was out for a very long time. He did his hamstring. Already, Martin Odegaard was off and on with injuries, and he was battling with form. Come January, we were going to do what we did the year before. Go on the January break, go to Dubai, refresh, reset, regroup, and come back. The worst thing happened. Kai Havertz did his hamstring and was out for the season during the holiday. The first match we played after the holiday was against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup semi-final, second leg. Guess what? Martinelli did his hamstring in that game. Arsenal was almost without a centre forward. Centre players in general. We had to improvise, bring in Mikel Merino. Mikel Merino came, put in a very good shift, was very decent. While all this was going on in the league, we were scraping our wins against Wolves, against Fulham, we're drawing against Everton home and away. While we were going through all this, we were having a decent run in the Champions League. We had a very decent run and ultimately crashed out in the semi-final to PSG, who later became the winners of that year's competition. So, and we started till the end of the season in the league. We were very, very mediocre. We were very, very passive. And due to some experience, we were able to scrape out one or two wins, and ultimately made it as a runner-up to Liverpool that last season. And that brought us to another end of the season, and we came second. And it brought us to this season. Remember, it's Netflix. Another season. Another one. But there was something about this season. There was something different about this season. And the difference showed in the transfer window. All the mistakes of the past, we decided we were going to correct them. We bought 8 players. We bought Noni Madueke from Chelsea. We bought Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad. We bought Victor Gyökeres from Sporting Club in Portugal. We bought Christian Nørgaard from Brentford. We bought Mosquera from Valencia. We bought Hincapie from Bayer Leverkusen. We bought, who else did we buy? We bought Eberechi Eze from Crystal Palace. We strengthened fantastically. Because we wanted to compete on all fronts. We wanted to win a trophy. The club backed us. The new sporting director was amazing in the transfer window. This season started. We started well. We had a good result in Old Trafford, though not a good display, but we took the 3 points. Next game, we played Leeds United. We blew them off the park, 5-0. Next game, we played Liverpool. Even though we contained them, we played very well, but not very well going forward. We were hard done by a spectacular free kick, and they snatched the victory from us. We deserved at least a point in that game. The 1-1-0. And that is the only defeat we've had this season. And also, we played Manchester City. We drew against them at home. Every other team, our former Achilles heel, which was Newcastle, we won them in their home. We won Nottingham Forest. We won Burnley. We won Crystal Palace, whom have been spectacular this season. And not to mention, in the Champions League, we have been on 4 out of 4 wins in the Champions League, including the 4-0 win to Atletico Madrid. But just this last weekend, something happened. We played 3 straight away games. The first away game was with Burnley. We gave a very mature performance against them. We won 2-0. The next game was in Champions League. We went to Czech Republic. We played Slavia Praha. Another Very, very mature performance. We won that game 3-0. The third away game became too much. How many could you really take? We played Sunderland. And Sunderland played us like they were possessed. We almost won the game. But due to Raya's faults, according to my, from my own point of view, due to Raya's faults, we dropped points and they equalized at the 93rd minute. Now, that was the first draw in 10 games. And that was the first goal we conceded in 8 games. Now, that same weekend, Manchester City played Liverpool. And they played Liverpool like I have never seen anybody play Liverpool in recent years. Manchester City won that game convincingly 3-0. And all of a sudden, there's rancor everywhere. Everybody's saying, oh, Manchester City is back. All of a sudden, people reverse their prediction about us winning the league and says, oh, Man City is back. They are going to win the league. Now, it brings me to the question of the day. Is our arch nemesis going to deprive us of the league this year? I don't think so. We are Arsenal. I think this is our year. I know this is our year. This Manchester City team is not like the team of old that deprived us of 2 league titles. They don't have Mahrez. They don't have De Bruyne. They don't have an informed Gundogan. They don't have those kind of special players. They're strengthened. They're good. But their game is one game plan. Erling Haaland. If Erling Haaland gets a 3-week, 1-month injury, we are going to run away with this title. I don't see how Manchester City can sustain their momentum with only Erling Haaland being their joker. You saw what Aston Villa did to them. Aston Villa man-marked Erling Haaland throughout that game and man-marked any midfielder that will supply him. He didn't have a sniff on goal. Well, he lost 1 or 2 chances, but that was due to frustration. The frustration that Aston Villa meted on them. This year, we have so many ways of winning. We can do set piece. We can do open play. We can do free kicks. We can do counter attacks. We have so many ways of winning. That is why we are different this year. We are now the mentality monsters. We are now ready. Every single position in our squad has a very, very reliable backup. Sometimes, some places like 3 very good backups. A lot of players can play in multiple positions. Yes, we are injury-ridden now, but most of these players are going to come back, which will only make us better. Nothing like arch nemesis this season. We are winning the league. We are 4 points ahead. We've played Man City, we've played Liverpool, we've played Newcastle, we've played Man United, we've played in 11 games, we've played some very, very solid games, solid opponents. The next thing is to play Tottenham. We win that game. We know among the traditional big 6, it's going to be Chelsea. Chelsea will be the next person after Tottenham. And we play them back to back. And I'm going to put my money that we're going to win both games. I don't care where we're going to play them. We are going to win both games. This is our season. Let no Arsenal fan panic. Let no Arsenal fan be worried about Manchester City. The next game is equally going to be hard. They're going to play Newcastle. I know Newcastle hasn't been so good, but that will fire them up this season. When you write off Newcastle, they surprise you. And they will surprise Manchester City. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Engage with me. Come on and let's talk about this season. Do you think Manchester City has what it takes to take the league, snatch the league away from us this season again? Do you think we can go on an amazing run again and make sure we put considerable distance with anybody coming for us? Tell me what you think on the comment section. I'll be there 24 hours to engage you. Anything you have to say, I will answer it. And let's do this, guys. And that will be the end of this special edition of the Arsenal Alchemy. I look forward to seeing you in 2 days' time. So for now, it's goodbye and God bless.